Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're
Eastside
Eastside Vibes. Today, I thought we would go back into the K-pop world and check out I-Dle or I-Dle. I've seen it pronounced both ways.
Right.
I think like in America they call it, because I've seen the members say both.
Right. I couldn't find out what the G meant in I-Dle.
I think it's like girl.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's either I-Dle or I-Dle. I guess I'm going to keep saying I-Dle. Their new album, 2. This is their second album.
Yep.
That's why it's called 2. And yeah, so I-Dle is, I would say from like what I've seen, they're like the biggest K-pop group that's not in like the main like 4 labels. Like they're not like the biggest ones outside of like Twice or like Blackpink or BTS, like these really big ones.
Right.
And one of the reasons they've like become so popular over the years is because they're a lot more
TikTok-y?
No, I mean their stuff is good for TikTok. No, they're a lot more I guess like forward thinking or like I don't know if controversial is the word, but like they push boundaries more than other groups in K-pop for the most part.
Well, the
especially
word
female
controversial
groups.
does come up with them. Yeah.
They have music that's a lot more like risque, I would say, in lyrics.
Yes.
Compared to like other stuff that like either we've listened to or like that you've heard.
Right.
It's definitely more, I don't know, like, and it's very woman empowering.
Definitely.
Which I think is very cool.
Ironically, this is probably one of the groups that when I mentioned it to my students, I'm like, have any of you ever heard of I-Dle? A lot of them had heard of I-Dle.
I think a lot of Americans like them.
Okay.
Because they're a little more, because of that. You know, it's a little more similar to American music.
Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, nobody's going to know. And they're like, yeah, I know who they are. Yeah, I'm like, oh, good.
And yeah, so I-Dle had a super big 2023.
Yep.
They had 2 EPs that did super well and that are very good.
Yeah.
And they obviously wanted to like capitalize on that and put out a new album at the beginning of this year.
Right. If you want to call it an album, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like one reason I think they're cool is because they're like a very diverse group.
Yep.
They have 2 members from Korea, but then one's from Thailand, one's from China, and then one's from Taiwan.
And you said there's 2 that speak English really well, right?
Yeah, the Chinese one and the Thai one are like fluent. Like we could have a conversation with them and they'd be fluent.
I'd love to know how a group like that got together. So diverse.
Yeah, I think they like try out, but like it's interesting because I mean there are other groups that have international artists, but like this one seems like very diverse.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like they were picked that way.
Yeah. And it's great. They sound great.
And I'm sure you noticed, like in the music, like their vocals are all very distinct. You can once you learn who the members are,
right?
You know which one is singing.
Yep.
You can literally hear it. Which sometimes this isn't just with K-pop. Sometimes with groups, you won't notice it as much.
Right.
Even with
a lot of American
boy
groups.
bands.
Yeah. No, you won't. You don't know unless you know who they are.
You don't really know that there's other singers.
Yeah, you can tell in this one because of like some people rap more.
Yeah.
Some people you can just tell there's different people.
Their voices are very distinct. Like Uki has like a deeper voice.
Yes.
Like Soyeon has like a nasally voice.
Yep.
So you can like you know when they're the ones singing.
I agree.
I find that really cool. But so we'll get into, we're just going to talk about the whole album because it's pretty short.
And that's why we said it's almost more of like an EP.
It feels that way. Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
Yep.
But the first song is Super Lady. This is so it wasn't the lead single, but it feels, so I think the actual first single that was released, Wife, was like, it's a B-side. Mm-hmm. I think this is supposed to be the lead single from the record.
Okay. It's good.
It feels like a lead single. It's very huge.
Yes, it is very huge. For an intro song, you're like, ooh, this brings you in.
One thing about Super Lady that like I noticed, it feels like it's literally made for TikTok.
Yes.
In the way that like every like 20 to 30 seconds, it's
Yep.
almost like the instrumental changes. It's like the song has sections.
Yep.
Like the chorus doesn't sound really anything like the rest of the song.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something I put down in here is that there are so many different beat changes in it. Like
Yeah.
I said, I personally said that there were parts of it that reminded me of Womanizer by Britney Spears.
Yeah, I can hear that.
But then there's parts that reminded me of Nicki Minaj with the rapping that went with
There's
it.
like a part that kind of reminds me of like early 2000s Christina.
Yes, yep.
Like it's very this song, and I feel like a lot of the record is definitely very inspired by 2000s
Yes.
R&B
yep.
and hip hop.
Yep.
Which I appreciate because I grew up listening to that.
Right, and I like the fact that they have like different like sounds to it. You know, you get this, in my mind, you get this Womanizer, but then you get this Nicki Minaj, and then like you said, then you get this Christina Aguilera, all in one song. But it's only a 2-minute song.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it almost feels longer because it's divided into
Yes,
sections, and
yes.
because some parts are so powerful.
right.
You know, Soyeon is the one singing on the hook.
Yep.
Which is like, you know, she's the main rapper. It's like,
Yep.
it's pretty impressive that she has that kind of range.
Yeah, it does.
That she can sing like
it
that.
does. And of course, I looked up the meaning, and Super Lady basically represents the strength and beauty of women. You know, that women can be super
Yeah,
people,
it's like
super
they don't
pros.
like need anyone
Nope.
to help them.
Nope.
Like
Yeah.
they're very independent.
Yeah.
Which is like their image, and like the music video reflects that for sure. It's a
Mhm.
really good video. But yeah, that's Super Lady. It's definitely a good intro. It's not one of my favorite songs, but
I agree.
it's still probably the song that's the suits being the first song in the album
Yes.
best.
Yes.
It has that kind of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see I forgot what the order.
Revenge.
The second song is Revenge. And one thing I like about Revenge is I like the way that Super Lady transitions into it.
Yes. This is a more. What did I say? It was. It was a lower tone because the theme behind it is much more dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes from like and then to like serious.
But like Super Lady and Revenge have pretty similar sounding melodies
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And that's something I appreciate. It does sound like it flows very well.
I agree.
Revenge to me might be the most forgettable song on the album.
Yep.
That might be partly because it follows Super Lady, which is so big, and they have similar melodies. I almost just like look past this one in a way.
Yeah.
It's not like bad, but there's nothing about it that like
Yeah.
Super Lady, for instance, like when I think of that song, I think of the chorus. I think
Yep.
of like how big
Yep.
there's something about it that like
Right.
makes me
Right.
think of it. I can't really think of a section in this song or a performance that
No.
I'm gonna like it. Not that it sounds bad.
No,
I'm just not
no.
gonna like come back to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because I like to listen to the albums multiple times, all the songs, and then I go to listen to my favorite songs, and Revenge was one of those like skip.
Yeah,
as I
like
was
it,
going through. Yeah.
it's fine if I'm listening to the album. I'm not gonna like turn it off probably, but
Yeah.
I'm also not going to like go back and listen to this
Right.
one.
So the meaning behind this one is that Soyeon, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So she actually wrote, so what Soyeon wrote is that she's never thought about taking revenge on someone, but that's what this song is about. Because she's like, I wonder what it would be like to take revenge on someone. It's like, oh, okay.
Something before we keep going, something I didn't mention at the beginning that makes this group stand out in K-pop
Mhm.
is they write and produce pretty much all of their music.
Yep. When
Like
I was
all of it.
Yep.
Even American, like like Beyonce, for instance, does
Mhm.
not write and produce her music.
Nope.
You know, like if you look at like Drake's new album, there's like literally 50 producers
Oh wow.
and
Wow.
multiple writers, and not that like he's writing the raps, so like they're
Right.
helping with the choruses and
Right.
stuff, but.
Right. Yeah, no, when I
But
was
like yeah, they write and produce all of this. Like it's mainly Soyeon,
right, exactly.
and then like Minnie and Uki a little bit.
Right, because when that's one thing. So I was going to Korean websites to really like feel this out, and I was reading what each person had to say, and then like Soyeon would be like, I really wanted Minnie to write more of this song, so I had her write like it
Yeah.
talked about who wrote each song and how they felt and who they wanted to pull in more in the writing. And I was like, that's great.
Soyeon's definitely the leader, and she seems like almost like the executive producer. Like,
Yeah,
she's like
yeah.
behind it. But
Mhm.
like you said, there are songs that Minnie wrote on
Yep,
this.
yep.
And yeah, that I find that super cool. Could be like, I'm usually attracted to artists like, I mean, someone who we'll talk about soon, who's very controversial, Kanye.
Right.
He writes and produce like his albums.
yeah.
He produced.
Oh
them.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So,
that's who he is too.
Yeah.
He wants control of everything.
and I love that. I think it's
Yeah.
really cool that, like, for what it's worth, whether or not you love or don't love something on this, you know that they did
They
it.
did it. Yep.
Whereas if you listen to like Blackpink, for
Mhm.
instance, they have a hand in writing some of their songs,
Mhm.
but they're not producing that stuff.
Right.
And,
Right. I know. I agree with you. I love it because whether then you like it or hate it, they put themselves into it. They
Yeah.
and kind of this is what they wanted to
This
come
is how
out
they
and be.
feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the sound they want you to hear, and that's how they put it
This
out.
isn't when you listen to like Justin Timberlake and you're like, he didn't even write
Oh.
this. So like this, or even like Justin Bieber, you're like, he didn't write this. So
Nope.
he
He had a
doesn't-
hand in it, maybe,
yeah,
but he
but
didn't
he probably
write it.
doesn't feel this way.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
Whereas they feel
Ed
this way.
Sheeran came up with this idea, and Justin Bieber helped him
Yeah.
like get some lyrics.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Exactly.
You know, like because I know Ed Sheeran's written a lot of his stuff.
Right.
But yeah, but anyway, that's Revenge. It's we didn't talk about the sound that much because
No.
it's just like
it's
whatever.
It's meh. Is
Yeah.
what I would say. Meh.
the next song is Doll.
I love this song.
So Doll is my mom's
I really
probably
like
favorite
it.
song on this album, and to me it's good, but it wasn't one of my favorites. I have others that I like more, but I'll let you lead this one since you like this one so
Yeah,
much.
so I have to use my glasses today because the print isn't real big. So, is it Yuki?
Or Yuki or
Uki.
Uki, both.
So she wrote that doll is actually a metaphor, and that the guy thinks you are playing, you think you play with me freely like a doll, but it's the opposite. She's playing with you.
Yeah.
And okay, so I was trying to sing this to him, and I don't know if you'll ever get it, but I like the pop and beat. I like the lyrics, and then the opening instrumental sounds like "What Makes You Beautiful" by One Direction, but it's slow. So okay, I'll throw it out there.
She said in like the cadence. I don't think.
It's maybe the cadence.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I'll try to sing it. It's see if you can get the background with it. I'm trying to think of where it is. It's a little bit slower. Oh, it's like, I'm not your doll, no need to talk. You'd never know what you think, but you've done before. And it's like, you don't need makeup to cover up. And so I said it was slower. That's how I went. And then we also agreed with this, a little bit of Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
Because they
I
throw
could
in
hear
the,
Pussycat Dolls
they
in
throw in the
this.
I like the Pussycat Dolls did.
I think the instrumental is like Pussycat Dolls too.
Yep, definitely.
Or like Sierra maybe.
Yeah, this was one of my favorites. I heard other, what did you say, how you say it? Not overtones. I heard other overtones from other bands in here, and that's why I like it. But I also like the meaning behind it too. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, the meaning is good.
Yep.
And Doll has like, I can remember like Uki has a really good like part on this song.
Yes.
And it's so young. Like the raps are really good on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you said Pussycat Dolls. It does remind me of like 2000s R&B. Like Sierra would be another one, or
and you
always
tell me those are the ones you seem to like, Mom, and they are. Yeah.
songs like from that era,
Yeah.
or sound like they're from that era. Maybe like Gwen Stefani.
Yep.
That kind of music.
Speaking of, she's bringing the band back together.
Oh.
What was it? What was the
No
name
Doubt.
of the band? No Doubt. She was instrumental in bringing No Doubt's going to come back together.
Well, isn't she the one that broke them up to begin with?
Yeah. Now
So-
she's bringing them back together.
All right. Well, I mean, are they gonna make No Doubt style music though?
I don't know. I
Because
have no idea because
their
that's
music,
what was
their
great.
music is cool.
Yeah. So we'll see.
But for me, Doll, it's not one of my favorites, but I do like it.
Mhm.
It does remind me of like some of that music, and maybe that's
Yeah.
maybe that's why I'm not as into it, because I just grew up listening to it and I
Over and
have
over
heard
and
it.
over. Yeah.
But it is a good song, and the meaning behind it is cool too.
Yep.
But that's Doll. The next one is Vision. So I think Vision and 7 Days sound very similar.
Yes.
And You said
Yeah,
you like
I
7
agree.
Days more, and I like Vision more, and I wonder if it's 7 Days has more of like a Doja Cat, like slower emo trap sound
Mm-hmm.
with a little bit of like the garage or like hyper pop like mixed
Okay.
in.
Okay.
This one is
Interesting.
mainly like that hyper pop with a little bit of the trap mixed in on the chorus.
Yep. Yep.
And maybe lately I've been attracted to like faster, like dancier music, so maybe that's why
That's
I like
what it
this
is.
one more.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And that one's more of like a chill, like
Right.
relaxing, like sweet song.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my meh songs.
Like Vision and 7 Days, or I mean Vision, like has like this very like bright and like poppy melody.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vision and 7 Days have like similar like lyrics too.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of about like being in love.
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah. I think it was. Boy, there's a lot of different names in this one. It's
Mion.
Mian. She said it's about digging into other people's confused mind and making moves according to their instincts, and she's trying to convey the message about telling the other person to show more love without like thinking about it. Like just do it, but you don't have to like think, oh, I better say I love you. It's just like be normal about it, you know, be honest about it.
I wonder if she had a hand in writing this.
I think she did. When
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I think this is the song that is it Soyeon?
Yeah.
She actually said she wanted to hear more of her in it, so she had her help write part of it.
She probably has the best voice. Like on
Yes,
this song,
yes.
you can like really hear her singing. She has a really pretty like singing voice.
Yes, yes.
And that's another reason why I like this one. You seem to like stuff with Rick rapping more, which is funny because you would think I would be more into.
Yeah.
And I love hip hop. It's
Yeah.
just for this kind of music, I like stuff that's with singing more,
Yep.
and this one's mainly
Yep.
singing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the vocals on it are really nice. I like that it's dancier. So people who would watch this or like who are into K-pop would know who this is. I don't know if you do, but it reminded me a lot of New Jeans, who became popular last year. I bet that I'll play a song for you after this. But when you hear it, I bet like you'll get that. And that sound is very popular right now.
Okay, for the sound of Vision is very popular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we listened to Pink Pantheress, right?
Yes, we did.
And that's a very similar sound to this, like
Okay.
that, like UK garage, like kind of like I don't know, like poppy,
Yep.
like not like pop in the type of music, like
But-
popping type of beat.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I just think that's a cool sound. It like makes you want to move, you
Yep.
know. The next one is 7 Days. We've been kind of talking about it. Melody-wise, it's very similar to Vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of bright. This one's more guitar-based. It has more of like I would say like emo feeling.
This is my favorite song on the album.
It reminds me a lot of Doja Cat.
That's what you
Which,
said.
I don't know, maybe we should have listened. I like the Doja Cat album. Maybe we should have, because if you like this, you would love that.
Really? I don't know I don't know if I'm into Doja Cat because she's controversial. She's done stuff, so I'm kind of been like.
I mean, if you like this, you would love that, because like there's songs on her new album Scarlet that are very similar to this.
So I mean, 7 Days is about loving someone for 7 days. Like you love them endlessly, and I said like this is I think it's a sweet song. And for me, it just kind of reminds me of like how I love your dad all the time. I love him no matter 7 days a week. I've always loved him for a gabillion years. And you were talking about the riff on it, the idea.
Yeah.
So the guitar riff is actually more of a pit-pat sound to make it more of like your heart fluttering because you're in love.
I mean, I guess I could get that because it has like that emo, like that emotional feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Minnie's singing is really nice on this. She has a
Yes.
really nice voice.
Yes.
And you can like hear it clearly on this song.
Very
that
clearly.
might partly be because it's in English and she's enunciates very well too.
Right.
7 Days, and then the next song not the next song, 7 Days in Rolly, which is after the next song, are entirely in English.
Yes, they
which
are.
they will probably stand out more for American fans, especially this song because it sounds like an American pop trap song.
Definitely.
And then it's in English.
Right.
But
Right, and that's something we should say. So some of the songs are part English. Some
all
of
of them are part English.
yeah, part English, and then the other is part
Korean.
Korean. So, but even when you have that in there, you still, it doesn't matter that it's not English. You like it. I mean, I like that they put both of them in there. That they put both of them in there. I think it really makes the songs more meaningful.
They do it really well because there are other artists where like there'll be like an English lyric in there and it doesn't sound it doesn't really fit.
No, it doesn't.
And they don't. It's like just like have it all be in Korean. Then,
right.
You know?
They did a good job with this.
Yeah, but they do a really good job of transitioning from English to English to Korean, especially because 3 of the members aren't like fluent.
Right.
And they still do a very good job, which is impressive. I like that a lot. So the next song is Fate, and I thought that you would actually really like this one because you say you like some of these like Japanese pop rock artists that. I mean, I've showed her a couple, and then we've listened to Adarashi Gakko, and this has a sound that reminds me a lot of like that kind of music.
Yeah, it's like
okay. It's like I think this is one, if you listen to this like more and more, like you'll like it more because like at the beginning, like when I first heard it, I kind of like looked past it, but like since then I've been liking it more and more. That's partly because it's so different than everything else on this record.
Oh, definitely. So
I like that a lot. It's way different.
So Soyeon, again, okay, she wrote that it expresses emotions when leaving a repetitive, boring life, and then suddenly you're like on your own and you notice that it's better. It's better when you do that.
It has a very like bright sound.
It does, and I said the one thing I said about them is it has a great beat. The singing and the rapping are great, and it's rocky, like a movement.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I mean, the other songs that I said meh to, I wouldn't say that about this one, but it's, again, I would probably skip it if I was listening again.
Well, there's only 8 songs. You're saying you would skip the whole album.
Skip.
But, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if you listen to it more, you'll like it more. The vocals on this are actually really good.
They are really good.
Like, they're really nice. And, yeah, I mean, it's not like the most exciting song. Like there are other songs, like even the ones that like Super Lady. I like this song more, but Super Lady is way more exciting than this.
Yes, yeah.
But it's just kind of chill and it's like cool. It's different. The next song is Rolly. Rolly's another song. It reminds me a lot of like American like trap music.
You liked this song.
I think this is like a banger. Yeah. I mean, it has a very like club banger kind of feeling. Like you could see this playing in like an American club and people like wouldn't know it, but like they would think it's good.
Yeah, they would.
Because it's in English.
Right. Yeah, I think they would. Yeah, definitely.
It has a very like American trap like theme too. It's very braggadocious. Like it's Rolly is like she literally says like Rolly on my wrist. Like she's talking about having a Rolex. But it's like comparing nice things to a relationship. Yep. Like that's what the song's about. One thing that's funny in it is like I've heard them swear in their music before, and in this song they say frickin'. I'm like, and it sounds weird. It's like just say fuck if you're gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna have that cadence in there.
Yeah.
I think that sounds a little silly, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, you hate to say it, but if they had said that word, would it have like made it? Would it have hit more with a lot
I think
of people?
It literally will.
Yeah.
I mean, it still sounds good, but like if they would like say that word, it literally probably will like be more
like
impactful.
People would be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Like, like they said it, and you can like yell it with them. You know?
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah, one of those songs. Yeah.
But like that's kind of funny that they did that. The raps in the song are very good.
Very good. From the rapping and with the songs they have rapping, it's fantastic. Whether it's, I think almost all the rapping is in Korean, isn't it?
Yeah, well, not in this one because the song's in English.
But it's phenomenal. I mean, their rapping is really good.
Yeah, and it's mainly a wife. They all rap, but it's mainly Soyeon and Uki that do the rapping. Okay. Yeah, and they're both very good at rapping. have very distinct voices. I mentioned earlier that Uki's lower and Soyeon's like more nasally, and you can like hear
You can hear it.
and that sounds really cool. It gives the songs cool textures because
Yes. Yes.
it contrasts everything else.
Yes, definitely.
That's I like I think Rolly just has like a very massive feeling.
Mhm.
It's not like when you're listening to the album as a whole, it's not like the one that's gonna hit you the most, but it's
No.
probably the one that you're gonna like listen to on your own when you just like want to get pumped up.
Okay.
Like you could like listen to this on the way to work and you're just kind of like headbang,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It has like that feeling. The bass is huge. I don't know like what you listen to it with, but if you listen to it with like good speakers,
Mm-hmm.
the bass hits more, and that makes the song like feel better because it's a very low bass, almost like drill music.
Okay. Yeah. I'll listen to it when I'm doing bus duty. I do bus duty. I'm always listening to music, and so I was listening to it through my Beats, and when I listen through it, I'm in the car. It's different. We have one car where you could really hear it if you listen. Like if I was in that car, I bet it would sound much better.
It sounds a lot better.
It would sound a lot
because
better
you need for a song like this, you need like the low bass because it would like I'm sure you've heard of like Pop Smoke, like that rapper, or I'm trying to think of other rappers that kind of have like music where I could like play it later, but like music where like they have like these very like very low bass that almost sounds like rumbling, but you won't get it sometimes on your headphones.
Yeah, that's
you
probably
won't get that. You won't get that sound. But if you listen to the car, it almost feels like it's shaking the car.
See, I need to listen to it in the other car,
and that makes it like sound. That makes it cooler. And there's like I wonder if like stuff we've listened to in the past, like songs off of Utopia. Where like you would like them more if you listen to them with big speakers because you can hear that like deep bass.
Yeah,
that I think it really does matter.
Speaking of Utopia, I thought they should have won. I thought that should have won the Grammy for best. What was it? Rap album.
I mean, I don't think that should have won it, but I liked that Killer Mike album. I think it's good.
Okay.
But I don't think it was the best rap album of the year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I would have given it to. Not that one.
There were a couple of people on that one that I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look after, but it wasn't. It's cool that Killer Mike got it. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, because I have a theory as to why they gave it to him. But anyway, we'll get into the last song. The last song is "Wife."
Yes.
This was the lead single. This is probably gonna be like one of my top songs of the year. I really like this song. I think it's great.
I would throw it out there too for that. Yep.
Like at the end, I would be surprised if this isn't one of my top songs at the end of the year because I think I'll be listening to it all year. I think you will. You'll just keep going back to this song. You're like, this is just good.
Yeah,
like,
it's on my playlist.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very fun. Yeah.
So you said that and I think these are very similar kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
You said it reminds you a lot of Fergie, and I could get that.
Yes.
To me, it reminds me a lot of like Missy Elliott.
Yep. I could
which
see that
is
too.
like kind of like similar.
Yeah.
As like a 2000s like gritty like hip hop beat like Timbaland style with those like banging drums.
Yep, exactly.
It has to be inspired by that.
Probably.
It's all in rap or it's all rapped and interestingly
that's what I loved is the rap.
Interestingly enough, to me, so normally Soyeon and Uki are the rappers, and all of the members rap on this one, and I think the best raps are from Shuhwa and Miyeon at the end of the song. Those are the last two, and they normally never rap. They're usually just singers.
Right.
So
it's nice to hear that.
Yeah, they like pushed them to do this, and they ended up like being really good on this song.
Right. So at the beginning, at the beginning of this show, we talked about controversial. And this is actually considered the most controversial song on the album, which when I was read that, I'm like, oh, why? And
I will say they've had more controversial stuff before.
Right.
Like they have a song called Nude, and in the song Queen Card, they talk about how sexy they are. But you said something, so I'll let you get into it. You said something that was interesting that I think is why.
Yeah, and so I think it's coming more from the Korean or the Asian based part of it.
Well, I mean it is.
Yeah,
it
because you know, if just women in general in that, you know, culture are considered to be like you're just submissive more. You do what
Like
you're
a
expected to do,
housewife.
like a housewife.
Yeah.
And in this one, she's talking about the fact that, you know what, I'm tired of the man being the patriarch of the family, and the wife should be more, you know, the basically the women should, you know,
Yeah.
be just as powerful.
Well, they're kind of calling a guy out because
Yeah.
she's like, I can cook, I can clean, I can do all this stuff, and you're still looking at some other girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's like she's like, I can like be like the wife,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
you're still looking at someone else.
Yep.
So why would I do that?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's kind of what they're saying, which
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yes, I completely do. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Because it's true. It's like, no, like you should be able to be whoever you want, and
The man doesn't have to dominate.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to cook and clean, and if you do, it might not even matter anyway.
Right.
So.
And where the controversy in was by more adult parents, because they
Yeah.
didn't want their children
could see
listening
that.
to this song and thinking that the woman should have equal or more power than a man. And they were like, nope. Whereas other people were like, come on, it's a great song.
A lot of their music has like that idea. Other songs on this album have that idea.
Yeah,
but,
Super Lady did. Yep.
But this one is the most like pushy with that.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But like I said, I love Wife. It's just like a really fun song. The music video is great.
Yep.
I love all the videos I've been seeing on TikTok of like other creators buying the wigs
Yeah,
and
so
like doing the dances.
they were talking
the dances are very good.
They were saying that with this video, every one of them wore the same color wig.
Yeah.
And to just
I've been
kinda
seeing
show
other
that.
people like buy the wig too.
Yeah. Interesting.
One thing about I-Dle is if you watch their performances and their videos, they're phenomenal dancers. Like,
Yes,
they're all
I saw
very,
that.
very
Yeah,
good.
they're very good dancers.
And it's like a lot of times like people can be great dancers, but the dancing doesn't really fit like the choreography doesn't necessarily go super well with
the song or the beat.
Well, you know, Usher's doing the Super Bowl. I think his dancing is like that.
Right.
He's a great dancer, but like he's not doing stuff that like when he dances to Burn, like that doesn't make you feel like the emotion of Burn.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. When he dances. Yeah.
But like for them, like in Wife, like the dancing is very like rigid and like punchy, and it fits like the feeling of the song.
Right.
They
are great dancers.
But so that's I-Dle's 2. I'll let you get into how you feel about it before I talk about how I feel. I wrote about it.
Yeah. So I will say, out of all the albums we've ever covered, I wrote the most about this one.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually have
interesting.
3 pages of notes on this one. And I think for me, I really wanted to listen to each song and get its meaning. You know, I do that with all songs, but for me, I really wanted to understand where they were coming from.
One thing about them compared to other, like, this is something, like, we've listened to, I'm not gonna, like, mention names and piss off people, but other stuff we've listened to, like, I feel like sometimes you're listening to the lyrics and they don't really mean a lot.
No.
That I would say on every song, even the ones that like you may not like as much, the lyrics are definitely impactful on this.
Very much so.
Like
Very
you can tell they feel how they feel, and they are like genuine.
Right.
And that's cool.
Right, because when I did my writing, I took a lot of quotes. I took a lot of lyrics out of this, and I'm like, man, these lyrics just really go well. So,
like when you look up the translations, you're like, oh, like this is, I like this. Not like you looked up the translation, you're not really gonna think about it again.
Right.
You know, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't like have to like care about what a song is saying,
lyrics, right. And then with
it
this
does
one,
make this more like meaningful.
Right, because even with this one, like some was in English, as we said, some was in Korean. I didn't need to look that up. I didn't because it's with the way the sounded. You knew what the song was about, the meaning.
Yeah.
It worked well for me. So originally, I was saying I wouldn't have given it one of my highest ratings. I was going to give it a 6.5, but I would say more 6.5 to 7. I would there. And we were talking about the fact that it's such a short album. It's only 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
And if they had given more, made them longer songs, I bet my rating would have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly when I wrote about it and like that's how I feel too. Like their EP Heat that came out, I think it was like late September, early October.
Okay.
I really, really liked that.
Yeah.
One thing that's cool about it is it's all in English,
Okay.
which they don't always do, but
Right.
it's cool that they did that.
I don't think this band even has to do all English songs.
No,
I
their
mean,
EP,
Yeah.
I Feel from last May, most of that's not in English, and I also really like it
Yeah.
more than this.
Yeah.
And I think that's because those are EPs and they're meant to be shorter and like
Yeah. Flash in the pan. What did you say?
yeah,
Flash in the pan.
like kind of
Yeah.
like snappy. But
Yeah.
this is supposed to be an album and it feels like an EP. I just want more of it.
Yeah, you don't hear too many 18-minute albums.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
either more songs or longer songs.
Yep.
And even the songs I really like, I want more, and that was my biggest criticism because I don't think there's anything I like dislike on this. I think every song is good. I just want more.
I have a feeling some of the songs that you like that I don't, if it was a longer song, I bet I would like it more.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like almost like those ones that you don't vibe with as much. They become really forgettable because they're so short.
Right.
There's not as much that like will get you to come back to it.
Exactly.
I have a theory as to why that's happening. I think it's because the industry is pushing these artists to put out so much music all the time, kind of like news, where you need to like stay relevant in the moment.
Right.
That they don't have time to develop like long albums because you're gonna be forgotten if you do that.
Right, because you were saying like, so of course they'll go on tour for this, but you know they're doing their other album too.
Yeah,
because
they'll probably
they
have
keep
2 or 3
them
more
out.
projects that come out this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like EPs,
Yeah.
which that's cool and I'll listen to them. But
right, and maybe sometime later this year we might review a different one, and we might have a totally different perspective on it.
It just makes this album in particular feel a little bit like short.
Yeah.
That's like the obvious best word
Yeah.
for it. I gave it like a 7 to a 7.5. I like it. I think it's good. I just want more. That's my main only criticism. I want more.
Yeah. Yep.
It's funny because like when I listen to Drake's album, I'm like, dude, this is 185 songs.
Yeah, get it
and
over
I like
with.
10 of them.
Yeah, get it over with.
But this one, I'm like, this isn't long enough. Give me more.
Right.
It's like, let's go in the middle of what Drake did and what they did here.
Yeah, and I mean, you could have just had those 8 songs, but again,
just have them be longer.
Yeah. You don't have to have 25 songs on an album.
Yeah, exactly. Just have it be a 30-minute album that's 8 songs instead of, a 18-minute album that's 8 songs. Yeah, so we just had some technical difficulties there. We had to figure that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how we feel about G-Idles 2. I have a feeling we're going to listen to more G-Idle this year. And we'll dive into some other like K-pop stuff that's coming out in the near future for sure.
Yep.
Especially because I feel like at least right now, the American music world has been very stale.
Yeah.
And slow. And like, trying to give us some fun new stuff, new stuff to listen to, not just like my old favorite albums like we did last week.
Right, and K-pop is still very prevalent in America. People still love it.
For what it's worth, in K-pop, they like for the last couple of years where American music has been a little more stale. K-pop hasn't been.
No,
they've been pumping out really good stuff. So that's why I like looking into it.
Yep.
But like I said, that's how we feel about 2 by G-Idle. We're going to wrap this up. I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
We're Eastside Vibes, and thanks for watching.
Bye.
Have a nice day.